For what purpose, then, do I make a man my friend? In order to have someone for whom I may die, whom I may follow into exile, against whose death I may stake my own life, and pay the pledge too. Within the complex tapestry of human existence lies a contradictory dance, the need to be surrounded by others and the need to be alone, the desire to disappear and the longing to be seen and truly noticed. But one thing that's for sure is that most Stoics do not have many friends. If you've ever wondered why you don't feel like you have enough friends, come on a journey with me that explores how being a practitioner of Stoicism might be causing your lack of friends.
1. You value quality over quantity.
According to Stoic philosophy, choosing a small number of very important friendships over many shallow ones is not only a matter of taste, it is a commitment woven throughout the fundamental fabric of a spiritual wokeness. As you travel the Stoic path, the pursuit of virtue directs you toward relationships based on moral integrity and common values. Every friend, then, is a priceless traveler on the path to enlightenment, a fellow seeker of the same universal truths. In the calm sanctuary of self-sufficiency, solitude, then, is a place for introspection rather than a void to be filled. And friendships are not ornaments. Rather, they are mirrors that reflect the ideals that illuminate your inner sanctuary. The depth of connection reverberates in shared silences and profound understanding, vibrating beneath the surface. Quality is defined by the richness of attention and intention engaged, not the quantity of friends accumulated. Every breath shared together, every glance exchanged, becomes a spiritual connection, an admission of the divine essence in every human being. Despite its reserve, however, the Stoic heart is not without warmth. Emotional resilience is a depth of feeling restrained by reason, not a Stoic facade. Authenticity is seen when friends open up about their spiritual journeys, achievements, and vulnerabilities. The realization that the journey is a collaborative exploration of cosmic wonders rather than a sprint is what holds the connection. Thus, in this symphony of Stoic connectedness, the preference for quality over quantity is not accidental. It is an intentional decision. It's the deliberate choice to pursue meaningful relationships rather than giving in to the seduction of fleeting friendships. Every friend is a spiritual companion, a fellow seeker of virtue and truth. Rooted in the profound, the Stoic spirit rejects the cacophony of many simplistic friends and treasures, the few who can sing the song of your soul. By making this deliberate choice, the Stoic finds a sacred assembly of fellow beings, creating bonds that withstand the test of time and reverberate across the endless domains of the universe. And in today's world, where shallow, inauthentic connections thrive, it might be hard to find people who share similar ideals, which is why you might be lacking friends.
2. You dislike small talk.
Imagine yourself entering a bustling social event where there is a lot of laughter and conversation. The murmur of small talk fills the room as people exchange greetings and share stories about their days. However, having been more and more engrossed in the fabric of Stoic philosophy, this scene can begin to make you feel uneasy. The contempt for short talk isn't an indication of antisocial behavior. Rather, it stems from a deep desire for conversations that go beyond the surface. You sense a strong internal drive toward deeper conversation, even in the middle of the seemingly uninteresting interactions. With its scripted dialogue and casual questions, small talk appears like an unfulfilling prelude to the depth of human connection that might be attained through deeper, more genuine conversations. Stoicism is centered on pursuing wisdom and virtue, which includes your social interactions. As someone who lives by these ideals, you consider small talk's shallowness to be inconsistent with your philosophical viewpoint. If you value deep conversations, ones that light up your soul and ignite your spirit, then we have just that for you. Subscribe to our channel and push the limits of your mind. This dislike of small talk isn't a rejection of socializing. Rather, it's a conscious choice to steer clear of conversations that aren't soul-satisfying. The currency of connection that speaks to you is the sharing of personal philosophies, the exploration and exchange of deep ideas. But in a society where small talk is frequently the go-between for social interactions, this tendency may unintentionally create a noticeable barrier. Finding people who value the depth and sincerity you like in conversations while navigating the sea of small chat enthusiasts becomes a delicate balance, with the problem being to bridge the gap between the frivolous and the meaningful.
3. You value solitude.
One of the main reasons you could find yourself with fewer friends as a Stoic is that you value solitude. This appreciation of isolation and having a small social circle stem from your dedication to self-sufficiency and the transformational power of reflective time spent alone. As a Stoic, your life is guided by the belief that true virtue and contentment originate from an internal balance unaffected by external events. This basic idea encourages you to value your alone time as a chance for deep self-exploration and personal development. Being alone is not just being physically isolated, it's choosing to have a meaningful, in-depth conversation with oneself. When you embrace solitude, you make a sacred place where you can reflect and hear less from the outside world and more from your inner voice. Because you value internal harmony over external social engagements, your commitment to introspection may occasionally be interpreted as a disinterest in social relationships. When you actively pursue times of contemplation and self-analysis, giving special attention to the upkeep of your private life, those around you may perceive your purposeful disengagement as a refusal to interact with them. Your well of introspection may inadvertently create a noticeable difference between you and potential friends, making it difficult for them to appreciate the depth and intention of your times of reflection. Although your goal is to strengthen your inner fortitude and focus on high-quality relationships, it's important to walk the tightrope between purposeful and unintentional isolation. By doing so, you can build a bridge of understanding that enables others to recognize the richness of your friendships without mistaking your love for reflective solitude for disconnection.
4. You have mastered the art of independent detachment.
You've perfected the skill of detachment, which is the ability to discover strength and comfort within yourself without being influenced by outside events. This deep sense of independence is based on the Stoic ideas, which promote inner strength and peace, regardless of the chaos that may be around you, rather than a desire to retreat or separate oneself from the outside world. Imagine a situation when the turbulence of life's obstacles tries to knock you off balance. As a Stoic, you will not be overcome by the turbulent currents of the outside world as others may be. You maintain a steady emotional state and resilience in the face of hardship. It's not that you don't care about the outside world, rather, you have developed an intense level of control over your inner reactions. This detached independence is exemplified in the practice of equanimity, where you maintain a calm and composed demeanor regardless of the storms that may arise. It's not about suppressing your feelings, rather, it's about accepting them with a level head and realizing that even in situations outside of your control, you can still control your own inner reactions. Although pursued in good faith as a mechanism to deal with the unpredictability of life, freeing you from the chains of external validation, detached independence can cause a disconnect from those around you. This happens when their opinions do not matter to you. Although relationships with people are important, your feeling of value is independent of other people's perceptions of you or their acceptance of you. When you don't ask for the opinions of others around you, or when whatever they do or say has no influence over you, they can misinterpret it to mean that you do not value them, and this might negatively affect the relationship, preventing the growth of one or even ending an existing one. In keeping with this thought, the Stoic sage, Marcus Aurelius, once remarked, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This sentiment resonates with your approach, emphasizing that true happiness and contentment arise from the mastery of your own thoughts and reactions, not other people's opinions. However, it's important to know when to let others have some level of access to your emotional self. After all, there can be no good friendship without trust and vulnerability.
5. You have high virtue-centric standards.
Within the bright domain of Stoic philosophy, virtue-centric principles direct your existence and act as a North Star for your quest for self-awareness and moral behavior. Your existence is based on the Stoic principle that true happiness comes from leading a life of virtue, rooted in courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. The problem comes in when you hold this standard against others, even if unknowingly. These virtue-centric expectations, however admirable and beneficial for your own journey, may occasionally prove to be too demanding for others navigating the complex web of interpersonal relationships. In a society where morality is viewed differently by different people, your standards can occasionally cause a subtle but noticeable distance between you and them. The contradiction doesn't result not from a lack of empathy or understanding, but from the great value you place on acting morally, even in the face of complex human interactions. Imagine a situation in which a moral conundrum arises. Although you might see a straight path led by virtue, others might try to understand the subtleties of the situation and find it difficult to live up to the high standards you maintain. Your dedication to upholding moral principles may, as a result, unintentionally establish a high bar, which could make it challenging for others to walk the ethical path with the same clarity and conviction. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once remarked, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This insight captures the heart of virtue-centric standards. It is a call to extend compassion and understanding to those who may be on a different level from yours in the journey of moral growth. Even as your virtue-centric norms provide direction for your own development, you must realize that making errors is human. Be accepting and forgiving towards others. When you walk the Stoic path, it's important to realize that although pursuing virtue is a nobler goal, helping others who are navigating their own ethical journeys with compassion and understanding is a crucial aspect of the rich web of human connections. Upholding high moral standards is admirable, but it's also important to learn to tolerate and appreciate individuals who may be at different stages of their own journeys. Accepting that everyone is a work in progress can cultivate diverse and deep relationships. In this interaction between virtue and empathy, you discover a harmonious balance that enhances not only your life, but also the lives of those you interact with. As you embark on a journey to understand the intricacy of human relationships and forge meaningful ones, hopefully, remember that you are a work in progress too. Be gentle with yourself and remain open to learning. Watch the next video to gain even more insight on self-development.